Am I the hope for refusing to let my cheating ex-wife spend her birthday with me and our kids? I'm Mark, 40 years old. And for over 16 years, I was married to Martha. She's 42. We had 2 kids in that time, both teenagers now. Our marriage blew up when I found out Martha had been having an emotional affair for 3 years with some guys she met online. 3 damn years. It wasn't the only reason things went to hell, but it explained a lot of the garbage we'd been living through. She swore they never met, never got physical, said it in a way that was supposed to make me feel better, like it wasn't a real affair. Yeah, right. She developed strong feelings for him, though that was her story, even if nothing physical happened, which I still don't completely buy. It was too damn much. She still cheated, and she treated me like absolute shit. For years, it felt like I couldn't do anything right. If I passed up overtime, she'd rip into me about not working enough to provide for us. But then if I worked too many hours, she'd complain about that too. Said I was never home. We'd try to plan a date night, and she'd accuse me of taking time away from the kids or wasting money. Then, if we didn't do something together, she'd complain about that too. Our anniversaries were the worst, especially the last 2 years. I'd get her gifts she'd actually wanted, things she'd talked about, and she'd get pissed. She'd say I was trying to show her up, or make her feel guilty for not being as good a wife as I was a husband. It was a constant mindfuck. Nothing I did made her happy. And it wasn't just unhappiness. She had to lash out every damn time. It was like she was determined to make me as miserable as she clearly was. The kids saw it all, too, even though I tried my best to shield them. Every time I spent time with them, she'd accuse me of trying to poison them against her. She'd say I was trying to win them to my side or make myself their favorite parent. I had no idea what the hell she was talking about at the time. I'd tell her that was crazy, that I just wanted to be a dad to my kids. She'd just double down, telling me that kids always have a favorite, and I was trying to solidify my spot. Looking back, she didn't need my help turning the kids against her. She was doing a damn fine job of that herself just by being a raging witch. One day, I just snapped. I asked her what the hell she wanted from me because nothing I did was ever right. She told me I needed to learn when I was wanted and when I wasn't. Said I was acting like a baby who wanted attention when I tried to make a big deal out of date nights. That cut deep. Man, it was just a cold, vicious thing to say. I should have walked then. I should have packed my shit and left. But I didn't. I kept hoping things would turn around. For the kids' sake mostly. Thought if I just kept my head down, kept providing, kept trying, maybe she'd snap out of whatever was eating at her. More than once. She called me lazy when I refused overtime because we had something planned with the kids. Or it was my birthday. Birthdays, especially mine and the kids, were days she seemed to hate being there for. The year before our divorce, the kids wanted me to take the day off to go to a festival that was in town. I did. She hated it. Of course. Couldn't make her happy for anything. The truth finally came out when her sister confronted me about something Martha had said. It was vague, but enough to make me feel like something was really off. I remember being at work, trying to focus, but her sister's words just kept replaying in my head. Martha said, it was enough to make my gut clench. I left early that day, something I rarely did. The drive home felt longer than usual, my mind racing. What the hell was going on? When I pulled into the driveway, her car was there, which was normal, but the blinds were drawn in the living room, and a light was on in the bedroom, which was odd for that time of day. I walked in, and the house was quiet, too quiet. I found Martha in our bedroom, hunched over her phone, typing furiously. She didn't even look up when I walked in. I stood there for a moment, just watching her, feeling a cold knot form in my stomach. Martha, I said, my voice probably sounding rougher than I intended. She jumped, startled, her phone almost slipping from her hand. Her face went pale. What are you doing home? She stammered, trying to shove the phone under the pillow. That was it. That was the last straw. I felt a surge of something, not anger, not really, more like a dull, heavy clarity. Give me the phone, I said, my voice low and steady. She refused, shaking her head, trying to deny it, trying to say it was nothing. But her eyes, they wouldn't meet mine. They darted around the room. Desperate, trapped, give it to me. Martha, I repeated, stepping closer. I didn't yell. I didn't raise my voice. I just stood there, waiting. She finally crumbled, thrusting the phone at me like it was burning her hand. I scrolled, and I scrolled. 3 years of messages. 3 years of a life she was building with someone else while I was busting my ass. Trying to hold our family together. The I love yous hit me first, repeated like a mantra, then the late night talks, after I'd fallen asleep next to her. She was whispering sweet nothings to some stranger online. The graphic descriptions of sexual situations they imagined being in. It wasn't just emotional, it was intimate. Deeply, sickeningly intimate. It was a complete betrayal of everything we had. Everything I thought we had. She started with the waterworks then, begging me to save our marriage, apologizing for how she'd been treating me. After years of that cold, calculated meanness, suddenly she's a sobbing mess, desperate to fix things. Please. Mark, she choked out, tears streaming down her face. I can change. I promise. I'll do anything. She talked about therapy, about making it right, but it was too late. Her behavior had screamed for years that our marriage, and I, meant nothing to her. This wasn't a sudden realization for her. She was caught. Plain and simple, she knew her goose was cooked. She didn't want to be the one responsible for the divorce, so she just let me take the fall, hoping I'd eventually leave. Now she was facing the consequences. I wasn't even that upset. To be honest, more than anything, I felt a sense of perverse gratitude. Thank God. I finally had a reason to ditch the bitch. I just looked at her, saw through the tears, saw the calculation in her eyes. I didn't say much. I just handed her phone back, turned, and walked out of the room. I filed for divorce the next day. Martha tried to fight it, but I told her I wasn't staying. There was nothing left. We're a year out from the divorce now, and Martha still hasn't let go. The kids know about her affair. She confessed to them, and she apologized for how she'd treated me. That opened their eyes to a lot of things they probably suspected but never fully saw. They'd seen her mood swings, the way she'd snap at me for no reason, the constant negativity, but now they had a name for it, a reason. As a result, they want barely anything to do with her. They're still forced to see her 1 week a month, per the court order, but that's it. It's her karma, I guess, not just the divorce, which deep down I think she wanted anyway. But now the kids want nothing to do with her. I'm sure they knew she was a giant asshole, but now they know why. And the mystery man, he's nowhere to be found. Probably some internet phantom, a bot from God knows where. She's probably still talking to him, or someone new. But he's certainly not stepping up to be a husband or a father figure. They don't have to see her on her birthday or theirs, or for holidays. That court-appointed time is the only time, and it says something when the court is basically siding with me, letting the kids, as teenagers, choose who they live with. They told the judge they wanted to live with me. I remember sitting in that courtroom, holding my breath, watching the judge listen patiently to our son and daughter. Their voices were quiet, but firm. They wanted to be with Dad. The judge looked at Martha, then back at me, then at the kids. He made the call. So, the judge said, okay, fine, but you still have to see your mom once a month. And to twist the knife a little deeper, she's even paying me child support now. I love it. Martha's birthday was last weekend. Our kids had already had their visit with her, so they weren't seeing her that week. She called me, wanted me to agree to a family day with the 4 of us. It's my birthday. Mark, she whined, her voice syrupy sweet. The way it used to be when she wanted something. Don't you think it would be good for the kids to see us all together? Just for one day. I could almost picture her, sitting there, trying to conjure up some image of a happy family that never really existed. I flat out refused. Martha, I said, my voice flat. The kids already had their visit. They chose not to be with you for your birthday. When she pushed, her voice getting a little sharper, a little more insistent, I just let her have it. You want a family day? Go find your soulmate, which is what you used to call your emotional affair partner, and celebrate with him. There was a pause on the other end of the line, a sharp intake of breath. I told you. I have nothing to celebrate about you anymore. She broke down then, sobbing into the phone. The line went dead. Then her sister called me, going off on me for being cruel. Her voice was shrill, spitting fire. How could you say that to her? Mark, she's devastated. It's bad enough losing you, that you wouldn't even try to make it work. But she doesn't deserve to lose the kids too. Your cruelty is wrong. She's still the mother of your kids. I just listened to her rant. I could practically hear the manufactured outrage in her voice. Did she even know the half of what Martha put me through? Probably not. Martha always played the victim, always twisted the narrative. I waited for her to finish, then calmly stated, the kids chose not to be with her. They're teenagers. The court listened to them. That's her consequence, not my cruelty. I hung up. I stood my ground. But her sister's words lingered. Was I cruel? Did I go too far? I felt like I had every right, but maybe it wasn't justified. It chewed at me for a bit, but then I remembered all the years, all the little cuts, the constant complaints, the way she slowly chipped away at my self-worth. I remembered her telling me I was acting like a baby for wanting attention, for wanting a date night. I remembered her accusing me of poisoning our kids against her, even as she was the one driving them away with her bitterness and self-centeredness. I remember the look on her face when I caught her, not remorse, but fear of consequences. No, I wasn't cruel. I was honest. She got what she earned. I'm not the person who turned the kids against her. They saw how she treated me, and they learned from her that it was worse than they had seen. None of that was because of anything I said or did. When it was all going on, I tried to protect them from it. I never would have told the kids how bad things got. She made that choice, not me. When she confessed to them and apologized for her behavior, that apology, I think, opened their eyes even more. It confirmed everything they'd witnessed. I have the kids in therapy already to help them work through everything that has happened. They've been through a lot, seeing their parents fight, living with that tension. I want them to process it in a healthy way. I've not found the resources to get therapy for myself at the moment. Eventually, I'm sure I will. I know I could use it. But right now, my focus is on them, on rebuilding our lives, on making sure they feel safe and stable. The wishes of my kids were somewhat taken into account by the judge. He refused to stop all contact between them and their mom, which is why she gets only 1 week in a month and not more any time. He said it was important for them to maintain some connection, but he acknowledged their wishes for primary residence with me. The kids didn't want to see her for her birthday. They prefer not to spend any time with her at all. When the judge asked them about holidays, about birthdays, they were clear. They wanted to be with me. Kids are smart. They see, they understand. That's her karma. That's what she gets for treating me like shit for years. Nobody's perfect. I know that. I'm sure I wasn't perfect in our marriage. I probably stayed too long, ignored too many red flags, held on to hope where there was none. I gave her too many chances, defended her to friends who saw through her act. I was the analytical type, always trying to logic my way through her emotional manipulation, giving her the benefit of the doubt, thinking if I just tried harder, understood her better, things would improve. I was the traditional provider. 2, convinced that if I just kept working, kept bringing in the money, kept stability, everything would fall into place. But nobody deserves to be treated like that. She's just a miserable human being. And the sad thing is, there are so many marriages out there just like that. And even worse, there are so many guys who will stay with someone like that. For heaven's sake, at the very least, when the kids are a certain age, end it. Find out your options. It's better than staying in a situation like that. You know, I bet a lot of ex-husbands out there reading this know exactly what I'm talking about. And I bet they're living a peaceful life now that they finally got off the pot. I know I am. The house is quieter. The air is lighter. The kids are happier. We're all finally breathing.